All right, hi friends. I am coming to you today to talk about shaking the tree. You're like, what in the world are you talking about? Shaking the tree. Here's what I'm talking about. There is so much in children's ministry that needs to be evaluated. Evaluate the fruit. And I don't know if you've ever done this, but you go out and you're looking at this tree and it's got some fruit and you shake it and hope that some fruit comes crashing down. Have you ever done that? Okay, I totally have done. And then you evaluate the fruit. Is this good fruit? Is it bad fruit? Is it a failed crop? And that's what we need to do in children's ministry right now because sad to say, the more I research, the more I study, the more I evaluate what the average children's ministry is producing, long term, it's not effective. And we can go to conferences and we come away from these conferences and like, yeah, that was amazing. That felt so good. I feel so stirred up. I can keep going around the same circle another time. That's the boost that I needed to go around that same mountain over and over again. But is it even the right mountain? We don't need more creative ideas of how to accomplish the same things. We don't need new tactics to produce the same lack of fruit. And some of you are like, what are you talking about? We have real fruit. I'm talking about the long-term statistics say that 75 to 94% of teens and college kids abandon God for at least a year. Where's that foundation supposed to be set? In the children's ministry. There's so many statistics showing that by the age 12, all of their perspectives of God and church, the devil, how God thinks about them, their role, and their place in this world are set. By age 12, you know what that says? Children's ministry. And without something dramatic or traumatic happening in their lives, they keep those same perspectives throughout the rest of their life. I don't think children's ministry is a place where we can just come and pussyfoot around and babysit the kids. I know we don't want to say we're babysitting the kids, but if all we're doing is entertaining them and keeping them busy and laughing and excited to see what new zany thing the leader or this puppet is going to do next week, or the multimedia video that entertains them and gets them excited instead of the Holy Spirit and miracles being the source of action for the excitement in the room, we're missing it. We're producing kids that don't know who their God is. We're producing kids that aren't grounded in the Word and ignited by the Spirit. And so that's why I know that was really belabored. That was probably longer than it needed to be. I just am so passionate about seeing a real change that so many don't even realize needs to happen. That's the worst part. It's got to happen, and it has to happen now for us not to lose another generation. And so that's why we're doing this Root KidMin Collective. It's not going to be a conference like every other conference where you leave and you're like, yeah, this was amazing. I am doing what's right. I am going to power through around this mountain one more time because probably the 18th time around this mountain is the charm with just a few little tweaks of ideas and tactics. And you know what? I'm going to put things in a paper bag instead of a plastic bag, and that's going to be more eco-friendly, and that's what was going to really make a difference in our children's ministry. No. What it's going to take is us pausing long enough to evaluate the fruit that we currently have. See what actions have got us to that point. What actions we have in our children's ministry that are producing that lack of fruit or the abundance of bad fruit. And then get to the real root issues. What is the cause of this? Where have we got off? And how can we ground ourselves and our ministry in the things that really matter and that really produce healthy, eternal fruit in the lives of these eternal beings, even though they're young in their earthly years? I want to introduce you to the team that will take you there. And if I get distracted here in just a second, it's because I just heard my family come in and I didn't close the office door. So we'll see how this goes. Pastor Mark Harper is doing the Tuesday session. I hope almost all of you know who Pastor Mark Harper is from Super Church Ministries. He is not just the, with him and his wife launching Super Church, the curriculum, the ministry that's impacted thousands and tens of thousands of kids. He also studies patterns in churches. And I can't wait for him to talk to you about how to effectively raise a generation that knows their God and confidently walks it out. And he's got the proof to do it. I got to tell you, when I was in children's ministry, he was a little younger then. Whoops. And he brought a whole team from his church to our church kids camp. And we had moves of the Spirit where kids were encountering God in powerful ways. And he was just facilitating it and allowing his team of young teens to be able to orchestrate and flow with the Spirit and recognize what God is trying to do and flow with him. It was amazing. And so I can't wait to be able to chat with him in just 2 weeks. This is, again, is in the Root KidMin Collective. If you haven't registered, you gotta do it. So Pastor Mark Harper. Then Pastor Eric, I'm pointing the wrong way. Pastor Eric Hamp, oh my word. He was one of our kids camp speakers when I was in children's ministry in Michigan. And man, he brought the power. I shouldn't even say it that way. It wasn't even him. He was an open vessel for the Holy Spirit to flow through, and he has only become more of that or less of that, however you want to say it, where he allows the Holy Spirit to flow. I remember one of the nights he was just simply telling a story about when he did a Holy Spirit call at another camp, and all of a sudden the stands start emptying of all the kids, even leaders coming down there like, okay, we need to receive this now. And he's like, okay, then let's do this. And he went into it. Kids were being filled with the Holy Spirit, learning to speak in tongues, learning to flow with him. We had so many powerful kids camps with Pastor Eric. I can't wait for him to bring that wisdom into our conference, the Root KidMin Collective, happening in 2 weeks. And then we got Pastor or Evangelist Jerry Moyer, however you want to refer to him. He's kind of the jack of all trades. He is amazing. He travels all summer long, going church to church and parks and all over, telling kids about Jesus and equipping churches to reach their communities in real ways and start discipleship of those in the communities, not just staying within the walls and ministering to those that have already been ministered to, but reach the lost and catch God's heart for those who don't know him. And so I can't wait. Pastor Evangelist Jerry Moyer is going to be with us. You are going to love him. And then Pastor Ray Baldwin. He's a senior pastor in Texas, just finished writing a book, and, well, I can't give it away. You got to be part of the Root KidMin Collective. That's what I'm going to say. His book is all about closing the back door of the churches where we are losing the kids faster than ever. And he's going to show us how we're losing them, why we're losing them, and then teach us how to keep them. Not just for the sake of building our church numbers, but so that kids can actually be discipled from a very young age. It's going to be so good. And then, of course, you're going to meet my wife and I, Pastor Kate. We're kicking it off because we are so passionate about seeing God's plan for the church today come into fruition. And there's a whole lot of things that we might have to put down or lay to the side in order to be able to pick up the things that God is wanting to do. And it's going to look a whole lot less busy, whole lot less events, whole lot less in a lot of things that we've done that haven't been fruitful, and picking up some new things and some new ways to disciple kids. Not just entertain them, but actually train them. It might cut some of the fun out of children's ministry. But where do we see fun in the training in the Bible? I can't think of that. Can you? It's not in there. No, instead it talks about pursuing. It talks about passionate discipline. It talks about pushing through to growth. And why would we want to wait until they're adults and those perspectives are set and those habits are set to try to reformat that? Why don't we just start with what's right from the beginning? So that's what we're going to be talking to you about as well. And these are just the general session speakers. The fire igniters that we're having is the Root KidMin Collective. It is going to be so dynamic. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's going to be 1 hour in the morning for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere. Just 1 hour, probably before you go to work even, so that it's not going to require you to take massive time off of work, and yet you're still going to be challenged and trained how to do children's ministry God's way. And then you're going to have a good 23 hours to meditate on it, have conversations with your spouse or maybe your leadership team, maybe your senior pastor, or even just start jotting down notes on this is really standing out to me. I need to pray into this, and begin to put some action to the things that are being illuminated to you by the Holy Spirit in this conference. And then it happens all over again. Then Saturday is going to be a tough day. That's just the truth, because we have so many great sessions packed into 2 hours. And so you're going to have to choose the two that you want to be a part of. And that's one of the reasons I strongly suggest getting the strong root access or the mature fruit access to the Root KidMin Collective, because then you have the recordings for a good chunk of time to be able to go back and rewatch the things that really challenge you, and and participate with the breakouts that you missed. It's going to be so powerful. It's going to be so powerful. So if you have any questions, message us at rootkidmin.com. You can message us there. You can email me, josh@rootkidmin.com, or message us, whatever. There's so many different ways you can reach out to us, but check it out, rootkidmin.com/collective. And join the movement. Be challenged. Put yourself out there to grow and step into what God has called you to be, and make that impact that you earnestly desire to make and don't know how to get there. That's what this conference is all about. I'll see you there.